water bottles over there. Okay. I should really make the announcement posts before I start streaming, huh? Oh well. All right. You know, despite the fact that I had like an hour to fucking set up, I really didn't set up at all. But I guess that's just kind of how things are, you know? See. All right. I'll wait for a little bit. But yeah. Let's see. Hi. Oh, okay. I wonder how everyone's day is. Somehow I'm gonna remember my talking points and it's gonna be great. All right. Nap World's free, actually. I could do that. Also, remember not to use an actual pencil on your iPad. That's for pros. Let's let me make sure my talking points are all ready to go. Whenever these streams start and I'm like, oh yeah, I know this character and I love this character, and I was thinking about them for like weeks on end or whatever, right? But the second that like the stream turns on, all the information that I was gathering just completely goes out of my head, and yeah. I don't think it's a good way of streaming, and I should probably make like, I don't know, a script or something, but it's hard to do that. Well, I mean, it's not that hard, but you know. Executive functioning is hard to really gauge. But alright. Coming up on the thingy, so readings for nerds. Hello, Marl. I mean, reading is for nerds, but I'm also a little bit of a nerd. So, part of me wants to read, and then the other part of me says, no, that's lame. And, you know, I just kind of, in my sketchbooks, I just have lots of little random notes that don't even really pertain to much. It's just things that I'm thinking. It's just kind of a fun little thing. Let's get into actually doing this, huh? Because, you know, this screen's not all that interesting. Is there any good stuff that I did in this sketchbook? Probably not. Huh? Yeah. So we're gonna talk a lot about organic stuff and all that, because started the Ruination book the other day, made me remember how much I hate reading. Yeah, I mean, like, the lore inside of those things is great, and I love, like, that kind of, like, in-depth explanation about things. It's just that also reading books is lame, and I'd rather read fan fiction. And, I mean, I guess it's literally someone that was paid by the company to make fan fiction, but in a real book. Though I'm surprised that for the Ruination book they didn't have a Callista skin to go with it. They had King Viego to do that one. Very strange. Very, very strange. Tonight's the Alastor stream, because it is. Also, like, I've got a list of stuff. Anyway. Let's see. Mostly we're going for more radio in the design. Because, I mean, like, there's nothing actually technically wrong with Alastor's design as it is. I mean, it's a lot of red and black, as you can see, but it kind of fits. It's like him specifically, you know, smoking jackets and all. Though, like, the hot pink on him, it, like, makes him feel a little bit too modern, or whatever, yeah? Because he's kind of one of those demons that rejects modern, like, technology, like, literally anything that's after his death he doesn't really like. Which is interesting, because, I mean, it'd probably be the same for a lot of people. I mean, like, after you die, you don't really expect for the world to keep circling, I guess, you know? Oh, also, let's see. What? You know, I should probably get YouTube Premium, but I don't want to. Because I don't have money. Alright. Anyway. Basically, we're just taking more radio in Radio Demon, because, I mean, I really like Vox's design in general, and how, like, just straight up with how they made him a fucking TV. Even better, get an ad blocker. Yeah, somehow, those things make my computer, like slow to a halt, and I think it's because it doesn't like that I'm doing it, but you know, I should. I have to like, for some reason I have to turn off ad block. Weird. I think it's just my lack of understanding of technology in general, so Oh, also, this is the general appearance of what I'm going for here. Because, like, 1930s radios, just old radios in general, have this look to them. And also, I think that the buttons being dials is pretty fun. Because I want him to look organic, but also a little bit mechanical, if that makes sense. I mean, like, radio isn't the first thing that comes to mind when you look at that. Technology impaired drawing. Technology impaired. Don't call me out like this tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, yeah. Listen, if OBS doesn't want me to stream, that's fine, but, you know. I don't know. Anyway, we're going for like a feral gentleman kind of vibe here. I mean, because really, that's what we're seeming to go with here. One, like, a character that pretends to be more than, like, other demons and, like, their animalistic urges to, like, you know, commit murder and sin and all that stuff. But someone that's actually much worse at those things. Well, not worse at it, but much more indulgent in said things. Oh, also, a fun headcanon for this stuff is that his staff, the microphone thing, that's how you can hear his voice, or whatever. Because in the pilot, or whatever, he goes, "Is this thing on?" or whatever. So, yeah, I think that the cane being the way that he actually is able to talk is a cool idea in itself, or whatever. Anyway, yeah, basically, like, a buttoned-up gentleman that's, like, trying to hide his much more animalistic urges to do literally everything that, like, you know, you bring and, like, the reason why you're in that kind of thing. Oh my gosh. But oh, alright, I need to get this off the fucking screen, man. Please, if you're gonna advertise to me, please do it in my DMs, not in my stream. Anyway, let's see. Out of the characters that actually need to be skinny in order for their concepts to work, like, to me, the only two that need it are Angel Dust and Alastor here. I might touch it about Angel's thing a little bit later, but Alastor's thing is mostly about, you know, he was a cannibal in life, and he's a deer demon in death, so, I mean, he's quite clearly a reference to Wendigos and that kind of thing, and their whole deal is no matter how much they eat, they will, like, continue to starve, essentially. And, you know, that's just a fun little... I mean, like, he's not actually a Wendigo. Kind of like how Valentino isn't actually Mothman. But yeah. Basically, you take elements of, like, classic monsters and that kind of thing, and you throw it onto, like, character elements or whatever, you know? Really, I'm not changing all that much about him. I'm just kind of using what people's headcanon version of his hair looks like alive or whatever. Because, I mean, the reason why his hair looks the way it does now is because, you know, it was created in high school, so, I mean... And everyone was in, like, I still like doing the, like, trick of, like, the floppy, side pieces or whatever. Just so that you don't have to draw ears, mostly. Because with shorter haircuts, it's like, why does this character have both a bottom set and a top set ears? Kind of like how, Dynasty Ari looked, or whatever. But also, drawing, like, the undercut is hard, and I don't want to do it, so, though it does make for some nice shots. Anyway, let's see. I'm making his teeth, like, this straight kind of thing, because I think it'd be fun if, like, it goes from a straight smile like this into, you know, literal, like, waves of sound that form teeth, essentially. Because, I mean, like, the one, like, main defining thing for Alastor is his teeth. Teeth seem to be, like, weirdly important in has-been designs. Even if it's something, like, relatively simple. Like how Angel and Valentino share a gold tooth in the same spot. And you can really infer quite a bit from that detail. So... Also, like, Angel's black eye, that's... Some people say it's, like, a fluff and detail or whatever, but, I mean, I think I really do like fluff details. Also, like, stuff about their design can convey quite a bit without spelling it out. So, like, explicitly, I guess? Like, it's supposed to represent, like, a shiner or a black eye, essentially. And I think it works pretty well for, like, its simplified nature. Though, of course, it's hard to remember which side the, like, black eye actually is on, or whatever, but I'm not trying to make designs that'll be animated well, or whatever, because, I mean, that's not my job. I'm not affiliated in any way. I'm just here to have fun with the design, I guess. Anyway, I'm making his antlers more hooked, I guess, because for some reason radio receiver antennas kind of look like this. And I think it's fun since Vox has these like little alien, like, you know, it's not a TV dial, but you know, the antenna that are typically on TV. It also gives Vox an alien-like appearance, or a Reddit-like appearance. Don't quote me on that. But Alastor having the same thing, but having it be more organic and like prone to bleeding is like a fun way of like showcasing the kind of characters they are and that kind of thing. Because they're supposed to be foils at the end of the day. And of course, we don't really have a look at their entire relationship or dynamic, really. Though, if you read the comics, you will know quite a bit about it. Well, not quite a bit, but just like how, like, easy it is for Vox to get under Alastor's skin. But yeah. I don't know if I want to give him stripes or not. I'll probably decide during the coloring phase. But yeah, I mean, like, out of the characters that we currently have, Alastor and Angel Dust are the most developed personality-wise. I mean, through the show, we'll probably get insight into Charlie and that kind of thing, right? But we don't really have an intimate, like, knowledge of her, like, struggles like we do with, like, Angel, for example. I think that, like, it just comes down to the fact that, you know, they're saving her relationship with her parents and with the rest of the world, essentially, for, you know, the series, because she's the protagonist. Well, assuming she's the protagonist or whatever, you know? Anyway. Let's see. It's fun because he's, like, not really... Alastor really shouldn't be wearing, like, true 30s fashion. Mostly because he died in 1933. It's kind of like saying, oh, yeah, when, like, you're, like, a 90s person when you died in 1991 instead of in, like, that in-between phase, right? I don't know if I'm explaining this correctly, but, whatever. Anyway, Alastor is one of those really entertaining characters, and you're not really looking for him to be redeemed or anything like that, so it helps you kind of get through that, like, what's it called? Expectation for him to do better or become a better person. I mean, because, I mean, being evil is just kind of fun. Like, evil characters are fun. Even though, I mean, like, it's a little hard to navigate evil and good in like a story like this, because, you know, it's we're literally in hell, you know? But, I mean, I think that being a serial killer who doesn't really care about the people that he surrounds himself with is a very good person. But the main thing is that he's not so much hiding that he is a terrible person, but more like he's more of a Hannibal Lecter situation where he knows exactly what he did and he's not trying to hide the fact that he's a killer, but he is more like, he tries to come off more sophisticated than your average murderer. Like, he's better than them in some way. And granted, I mean, staying in power for decades when your main form of media is basically just relegated to cars is quite a feat, right? But it's like, when you want to think about Alastor, you have to think about hypocrisy. So, yeah. I mean, like, the hypocrisy of, like, someone being this, like, animalistic, feral, like, awful person, and then someone that deems themselves polite, doesn't swear, tries to live his life like how he was previously, that kind of thing. It's not as explicit as someone like Angel, who, upon going to hell, decided to essentially let go of his inhibitions and that kind of thing. Since, I mean, he's already in hell, so it's not like he can get any lower, but he does, and that's the struggle for Angel. So, yeah, I guess that's... Oh my god. This shit's loud. Alright, that's good. Oh, also, a fun little detail on this new design is his, like, shoes are heeled not because that was fashionable at the time, but it's because it's, like, his feet are shaped like that. So that's pretty fun. Also, like, you can really see the, like, blatant hypocrisy, like, right here, where he's both, like, a glamorous radio presenter, but he's also in a swamp, something that's mostly, like, very feral and gross and just wild in general. When you think of a swamp, you don't think about much other than, like, out of, like, most nature stuff, it's one of those things that aren't controlled as heavily. Let's see. I'd like to add more of his, like, death element to him, right? But it's just a little hard, because, I mean, we don't know, we do know most of what happened, just it's not the order of events, or really the events much clearer than he was shot like a deer, and hunting dogs also swarmed him, which is a pretty common practice, where you like weaken the animal and then you send your dogs to finish it off. Well, I mean, like, most people don't have hunting dogs nowadays, but it was a popular sport. But mostly we're gonna try and keep, you know, the main thing about him is that he's a dressed up monster. That's what he is. He's not as, like, overly monstrous of, like, a design such as, like, Valentino is, but he's not, he shouldn't feel all that inviting when you look at him. And, I mean, I'm guessing that the cross that he, like, uses for his, like, undershirt, well, yeah, because he's got his coat and then his undershirt, and the undershirt's like a cross, you know? And it probably has to deal with, like, something relating to religion, but, you know, I don't have any context for that, so I'm not going to include it in the design. Also because radio suit funny. But let's see. We're either getting has-been this June or July. I'm pretty sure it's July because they said summer, and a lot of people don't consider that summer at all. It's weird. But yeah, I'm excited to see the next redesign that they do. Besides Lilith and the remaining three, I'm curious to see who the, like, last bonus character is. Because they might do a last bonus character, or they might do, like, 3 bonus characters, because Mimsy, Baxter, and Crimini might just, what's it called? They might be featured in the same picture, kind of like how the V's were. So I think that's interesting. Let's see. Alright, that's way better. I just needed to trust the process. Trusting the process always works, guys. And it's never failed ever once. No ads. 0. My stomach fucking hurts, man. Let's see. As soon as I run out of topics discussing has-been, we can switch over to a different topic, but, you know. I think I just kind of wrapped myself in a hyperfixation, and it's hard to leave. I can't help myself from doing the Eliza because, I mean, it's just so, I don't know, rewarding? Actually, Skullgirls Eliza and Alastor actually have a lot in common. Though, I mean, like, of course, Alastor isn't really at all based on, like, Egyptian mythology, like how, what's it called? What the fuck was I trying to say? I've completely forgotten. Such is life, I guess. But yeah, like a blood-sucking, like, high elite type that tries to hide their more violent urges and tendencies despite being in a place with many of the same type of people. I think I just like how they stick to it, even though they definitely know that they're being hypocrites. But that's not the point. The point is that they're better than you in some way. Because they have the decency of restraint or something along those lines. Whereas, like, a sinner like Angel is considered sloppy and, like, lower class, essentially, because he was honest in what he wanted, and so ended up being burnt by a bigger, scarier, more abusive force. Let me see. Color is gonna be fun for this one, mostly because we're still using the red. Because, I mean, I feel like if any color is going to, like, represent a specific character, I mean, of course, Charlie and her whole thing, but also Alastor and his whole thing. Because, I mean, he kind of embodies the type of person that should and is in hell and doesn't want to get better in the slightest, because he's got power and that kind of thing. But also I think it's fun because old-fashioned values and that kind of thing are, like, a big part of, like, demon society, because, I mean, it's with a bunch of dead people, right? So, like, the way that they choose to address the time gap is honestly interesting. Because, I mean, like, Vox definitely did not look like a flat screen TV when he was first, like, thrown into fucking hell. Because those did not exist in the 1950s. TVs did. But that type of TV that Vox currently is not one. And it kind of shows that, like, general, what's it called? Disconnect? Also, hi Caravan. Yes, thank you for saying it. Looks nice. I mean, I'm not really fucking too much with his design. I'm happy that you got to catch it. I mean, like, we're doing this, like, every week or so. Well, yeah, every week. Discounting some holidays and moving and stuff. Though, for my brother's birthday, I might have to take a little bit of a... I might have to move stream to a different day for that one. Maybe we can play FNAF World, I don't know. But yeah. I think the main word for Alastor is restraint. And, I mean, he isn't very honest. I mean, he is. He's a very, like, direct kind of character that likes to invade others' like, personal space, despite not liking it himself. But what I'm really talking about is that, like, he tries to live like a normal person, which is actually quite rare in hell, because most people are just like down to be their worst selves because like the society that they've been dropped to doesn't care about those kinds of things. So it's basically like a you can do anything kind of world. And so people do. But the demons that try and, you know, treat it like a normal society, you know, like how they were, like, when they were living, not taking on a different name, that kind of stuff. It's all pretty interesting. Though, we're gonna, like, clean this up a bit. I'm not too sure if I want the cuff pants or whatever. I'll think about it. Let's see. I'm gonna go for just a bit here. Take some medication. And we'll continue with this guy here. Alright, let me... And if an ad plays, tell me what it is. I want to know. I think it'd be fun.
Hey YouTube music listeners, with an Omen gaming PC you can do it all. You can be the always streaming, content creating, quick thinking, endlessly dreaming version of you. Powered by 12th gen Intel Core i7 processor. Learn more. Visit omen.com/omen16.
Alright. Alright. Let's get back to the fucking drawing. Yeah, here we are. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Also, why is this in my playlist? I'm pretty sure this is copyright. Saw has been on release and thought it was fun. Do you think I'd enjoy Hell of a Boss? Yeah, I mean, Hell of a Boss, like the pilot of Hell of a Boss itself is actually quite lovely. Well, lovely isn't the word. It takes on a wait, what's it called? Okay, let me first get music. Well, after a 14-minute ad, I guess. But, Hell of a Boss has a lot of episodes to it, and its pilot doesn't really quite match the rest of the series. It's much more of a, like, a drama. I mean, like, there's still, like, fun bits thrown in it there and that kind of thing, but it deals quite a bit with, like, interpersonal relationships and that kind of thing. I really enjoy it personally, because, I mean, the kind of characters that they make in there is really nice and that kind of thing. Also, I mean, it's just wonderfully animated, too. So, I mean, honestly, I do recommend it and that kind of thing, though I would suggest to not compare it to either pilot, because it's not quite, what's the word? Like, the tones of, like, the Has-Been pilot and the Hell of a Boss pilot are completely separate tonally from Hell of a Boss itself. And I'm pretty sure that Has-Been will probably follow a similar model, though with more characters than the core cast of the ones we have in Hell of a Boss. So, that'll be something. But also, it builds out, like, Hell lore if you're interested in Vivzi's world. I certainly am. It's kind of cool that, like, classism is, like, the big defining factor between, like, Hellborn and that kind of thing. Because Has-Been Hotel is about people that have died and gone to hell, whereas Hell of a Boss is about Hellborn and their stations in life and that kind of thing. So it's a really interesting look and that kind of thing. So, but I don't, like, if you're looking for, like, that kind of backstory, well, you kind of have to immerse yourself in, like, hell as a location that people not only go to when they die, but also people are just born there. I mean, something that separates sinners and Hellborn is that sinners can't have kids because, I mean, they're dead, so it doesn't really make much sense for them to have kids in the first place, that kind of thing. But also Hellborn look more traditionally like demons or whatever, whereas I'm pretty sure the animal thing with, like, most of the Sinners and Has Been or whatever is mostly, I think it's based off of Dante's Inferno of liars, and that kind of thing, where the punishment for like deceiving yourself or like making yourself appear better than others or something was to rob you of your form, and so you were turned into animals and that kind of thing. I'm just kind of I'm a little bit of a Dante nerd, not that big, but you know, I think I just really like people's concepts of like fantastical afterlives that probably don't exist. I'm sorry if that was a little bit long-winded, but I mean, this stream's mostly me rambling from topic to topic and me being distracted by them, I guess. My stomach has extreme burn marks on it, and you know, I had just gotten rid of them too. But that's what happens when you're not used to the cold and also are in, like, pain quite a bit. If you come here for my art, I'm very sorry, but I hope that I hope you like this. Something about redesigns, I mean, like, they always have such a negative connotation to them, but really it's fun to come up with the way that you would have designed a character if you were given the general layout of said character or whatever, you know? You know. It's a little bit, like, all up in the air, I guess. Like, what I mean is, designing things is fun, okay? I like designing weird creatures, and honestly, I've fallen headfirst into a hyperfixation. I don't know how that happened, but I mean, I guess you don't know how it happens to most things that you like. Because, I mean, like, I've been a general fan of this work for, like, quite a long time. Like, before the pilot even came out. And like, looking back at the pilot, it's pretty alright. The main thing is pacing and the sound effects, because I think that the voice actors' deliveries on most lines are actually really nice. It's just that, like, the SFX guy just needs to take it down just a little bit. And I think they really got their foothold when they, like, for Hell of a Boss or whatever, because it's not obnoxious. You can, like, you have, like, your wacky cartoon sound effects, but they are used way less intrusively, and, I mean, it's just a really nice thing when it comes to sound design, which I know very little about, really, but you can notice a difference. And I guess I'm happy about that, yeah? Get out of the fucking way. don't really know how I'd, like, visibly show that, like, Alastor was from, like, Louisiana or whatever. But, like, I don't think... I mean, like, location does have a lot to do with who you are as a person and how you've grown up and that kind of thing. And it can also influence fashion to a degree, right? But also, like, you don't really need all that much context for, like, characters entirely. You can... It depends on the situation, I guess. But, I think that you could compare Hell to a more clown-filled Vegas. I think that's a fun way of putting it. Let's see. Also, ages are another thing that's pretty interesting. I think I really like deceased characters and seeing how their death and the way that the world changes around them. I think it's all very interesting. Though, let's see. I don't think we're gonna get like a major confirmation on like the characters' ages besides like what they've given us, which is the fact that like when Alastor died, he was in his like late 30s, early 40s, and Angel Dust overdosed when he was in his like late 30s or so. But the way that they act is completely different because, I mean, like, that's just kind of good character writing. I mean, like, when you're presented with a society that doesn't have any laws or real, like, culture to it, bringing, like, seeing how people react to it is very interesting. Let's see. I wonder why these songs are on repeat today. The Rock, what? Yeah, it's playing the same stuff. Yeah, same stuff. Alright. That's better. My memory is incredibly short. I mean, it depends on what I find most relevant at, like, any given time. See, like, I was on, like, a tangent about, like, Titanic-related media or whatever for, like a good few days. Like, I stayed up till, like, 4 in the morning. those. I don't really know what time it is for you guys. It's in chat, and I hope it isn't too late. I mean, I know that I'm doing this at like 8 or so, but you know, time zones are always so fiddly. EST for the win. Let's go. I'd like having a tail would be cute, right? But also, we kind of want to make some characters, whatever. Some characters are meant to be more scary than others. And you can tell this by the way that they are designed or whatever. Like, Vaggie looks the way that she does. Because she's not really a scary demon by herself. She doesn't have, like, a whole, like, following. She doesn't have incredible power from what we can tell or whatever. She is probably armed with an angelic spear or whatever, right? But she looks more human because she is more human. Whereas Valentino is also a moth demon, but looks much closer to a moth because, I mean, he continues to be a monster. I think the main thing here is, I mean, a lot of people like to dunk on has-been, and I mean, it's mostly because, I mean, people enjoy being haters, but also, I mean, it's, some people just don't enjoy that type of media, and I mean, good for you, right? But it's, media shouldn't be made for everyone, and I think more people should, like, be comfortable with just not, like, watching something and being okay with that, you know? Like, the only reason that, like, Velma's getting any attention is because it's Scooby-Doo related and people like Scooby-Doo, right? But you shouldn't hate watch it because it'll only make money for the people that did it in the first place. Ugh. So, you know, it's something to look at. I mean, being a hater is fun. It's a lot of fun to hate on something, you know? And that's all fine and dandy, but, you know. I'm also of the mindset that people should be allowed to enjoy things. Like, I'm a big... I guess it's like the two wolves inside you. One of them says that being a hater is really fucking funny, but the other side of you says that, you know, people should be allowed to enjoy what they enjoy, and, like, bringing it down or, like, chastising people because they like it isn't really gonna do anything in the long run. Like, people that fight on Twitter aren't actually going to do anything in real life to help people and that kind of thing. it's, I mean, it's the internet. What do you expect, I guess? But, you know. I wish that my more fully formed thoughts could be just, like, transposed and you'd, like, understand what I'm saying or whatever, but, you know, that requires, like, me writing, and that's hard. Where's the fucking button?
The thing that's different than the vacation home?
I need to get out of here. Alright. Vivsy's designs are extraordinarily edgy, but it's a fun, stylish edge that works in context. Yeah, it's a pretty good way of looking at it. I mean, because when you look at Alastor, I mean, he's kind of the... It's not... I mean, like... Let's just be frank here. Red and black just look good, okay? And I like being a little edgy. And I think that... I mean, like, people... Like, things that are cringe... really shouldn't be... I think the main thing when people say cringe, they're mostly talking about things that, like, high school girls like or whatever. Like, people absolutely clown on things that aren't, you know, their target audience or whatever. But you see, like, this hairstyle right here was created in high school. Because, I mean, obviously. Also, I mean, like, it's just a fun hairstyle to draw. But, like, yeah. Stylish edge is just fun. Though, let's see. Like, people should be allowed to enjoy those kinds of things. Kind of like... And not even in, like, an ironic sense, either. Like, you can unironically like Has-Been Hotel and Hell of a Boss for their, like, actual art skills and that kind of thing. But, like, ironically, you would like Reaper because of his memes or whatever. Like, Overwatch decided to put that character in the game, and I mean, it was just kind of like a call to action for, like, really young boys, essentially. That's kind of why, like, Shadow and, like, his game or whatever are really, really funny. Are they good games? Like, not really. But they are entertaining, and that is a lot, like, that is a lot, compared to other things. I'd rather watch something that's hilariously bad than something that's boringly bad. Also, I mean, like, there's a difference when you're talking about, you know, a corporation and when you're talking about someone's individual, like, personal project / art style and that kind of thing. So, like, yeah. And every art style has pitfalls and that kind of thing. I'm not really too sure what, like, I mean, like, I know how I draw and, like, what style I draw in to an extent, but I don't know how people perceive said style. Because, you know, it's a little bit hard for me to gauge people's reactions, I guess. But like, the main thing for, like, Has Been Hotel is that, like, you can see how, like, the pilot and Hell of a Boss, like, how they've evolved stylistically. Because a lot of the wallpaper and that kind of thing were vying for your attention more than the characters themselves, and it looked a little bit strange. But as time went on, we found a good balance of those kinds of things. Though I am excited to see who the character they are doing a redesign of this month. Because absolutely no one was prepared for Adam. Like, we knew what angels looked like, but not... We never had an inkling that Adam would even appear in the show, so it's pretty fun. And, you know... It's fun to, like, see what kind of vibes they're going for. And how they plan on challenging characters and that kind of thing. My fucking eyes, man. Anyway, let's see. A lot of people get on Vivzy for, like, her, like, proportions and how characters look within them. And, I mean, fair enough, right? But, I mean, the reason why there's so much limb and not a lot of body is because, I mean, they want to go for more, like, dramatic posing, I guess. Like, I mean, because if you're a character with, like, all these fucking arms, so you kind of want the arms to be the main, like, focus of a character's, what's it called, like, I guess energy allowance? That's not the right term at all, but you know what I mean. But, you know, I think that in context it works nicely for certain characters, but not other characters. Like, for example, Alastor is a good example of this, and I did mention that I was going to talk about why Angel also fits under this, and it's mostly because like, the industry that Angel Dust works for and that kind of thing really values, like, unhealthy beauty standards and that kind of thing. So, like, it's an in-canon reason for why he, like, appears the way that he does, essentially. Because, I mean, like, there's basically two types of spiders, and it helps for different body language. you've got many limbs, small body, and you've got big body. Wait, what the fuck? God damn it. Anyway, big body with legs being the after point or whatever. And, I mean, it makes sense from that perspective. Characters that I don't think should be stick thin are, like... I mean... The thing about skinny characters also is that they just come off as more creepy and scary in association, because I mean it's kind of bony and strange, whereas like a character that's like short and plump like immediately evokes the image of being a friend. That's something that you should hug, that kind of thing. And like that's why a lot of characters have that kind of physique to them or whatever, you know? It's not an excuse, so that kind of thing, and personally when I draw these characters, I'm gonna make Charlie more normal looking and that kind of thing, because I mean, Charlie shouldn't be the horror, besides when she basically lets down her hair, metaphorically. She's like a golden retriever in terms of personality and that kind of thing, and like a soft, squishy princess, that kind of thing works really good when compared to like demons that have actual horror concepts to them, you know? Of course, I mean, normal is not really what I mean, but you know, because everyone comes in different shapes and sizes, and I really do like that, like the succubi in Hell of a Boss have like just a ton of designs to them or whatever, because I mean it makes sense. A lot of people like are attracted to different things, and like the like stereotypical depiction of a succubus wouldn't make much sense if they are kind of like perfect partners in that sense, because people's taste ranges very wildly, and I like how they did that. Also, I'm making clear that like his skin is less human-like. Basically, I'm making Alastor look just a tad bit less human. But like a good example of like how like roundness works with a character design to make them look less threatening is like Moxie and Millie, and how they like the way that they're shaped and like how diminutive they look and that kind of thing really shows that they aren't really threats in the traditional sense. I mean, they are, because they're contract killers, right? But in like the general sense of the word, not very, they shouldn't be scary. Whereas like overlords should feel scary to some degree. So it's a mix between, like, putting a little bit of subtle horror into your design or whatever. Like how Katie Killjoy has, like, this football of a head and a tiny neck, and that kind of thing. And that's done on purpose because, like, seeing it snap is effective in communicating how just gross and, like, the elements of horror are clear in her design, that kind of thing. I'm gonna, like, Alastor's red, I want to mute it just a little bit. Not too much, because, I mean, in the end, this is just kind of for fun, and I think that these colors are fun, so, yeah. Is this accurate to a 1930s smoking jacket? No. But, you know, it's not exactly the point. We are over here for the hourglass silhouette. No. Have we considered looks cool justified? Yeah. Really, the main thing about character design is, does it look cool?
Come to TurboTax.
It's the main thing in character design 101. It's the last rule in most camp activities, but it's have fun. 'Cause, I mean, you don't really want to draw a character that makes you miserable. I like that most of his tones, like, feel leather-like and that kind of thing. Like, we're not gonna see a lot of cool colors on him, because that's kind of Vox's thing. He's not, like, in no way is Alastor supposed to look futuristic. That's the main thing. Bro, I can't even fucking see. I love red. I love black. I love underline slopper. Guys, I don't even know why you fucking watch me, man. I appreciate people coming, though. It means a lot. Let's see. I really want to use cool colors, but... you know, yeah, yeah, I love underline slapper. Someone free me from this prison. It's a prison of my own making. Very Cask of Amontillado. Oh my god. What the fuck? How the fuck did that happen? Also, apparently it's snowing now. I've never really been... what's it? I come from Florida, so snowing weird. Ah. Bright as shit, man. Oh my god. I actually do have Danganronpa installed, but, you know. It'd be a little bit weird playing through it with you guys, because I already know the story, so I'd have to, like, fake reactions to things. Oh no. Who could have possibly done this murder? From this game that came out, like, a couple decades ago. Well, not a couple decades. That's being a little bit mean to Danganronpa. Kind of just vibing with music at this point. How the fuck does the pants look green? What the fuck is going on? I'll fix it later. Fuck it. No. Colors is one of my strengths. It's not. But, you know. Let's see. Is there anything you'd like in particular for this channel? Or, like, I guess, like, what in particular would you want me to draw and that kind of thing? Because I kind of just bounce from interest to interest quite a bit. So, I mean, I'd like to be drawing something that, like, you guys care about. Because, I mean, there's just a shit ton of has-been hotel stuff that I've drawn. I guess I'm making up for lost time. Really shouldn't look cute. Let's see. There's this one, like, specific sound that's, like, stuck in my head. It's, like, when, like, it's a very specific series of stuff. Series of stuff isn't quite the word. OC Comics. What are you trying to do? Kill me? I mean, like, I do... I've got some OCs from, like, when I was in high school, so... Well, they're not even from high school. They're from, like, middle school, like, senior year. So, I mean, they're really old, but I really truly like them. I have to remember what his fucking eye color is. Okay. Red. They're red, okay. Hey guys. Let me, thank you. Let's see. Oh yeah. My brain is fucking rotted, man. I don't know what's going on anymore. It's not even like that challenging of a drawing. I mean, like, I don't really know. Like, I kind of got to like the line art, and then I was just like, for colors, and that's just kind of how things are going currently. So, let's see. Where's the thingy? Oh my gosh, I completely forgot to put on the little bouncing avatar. Can't believe no one fucking said that to me. But, I mean, I'm not gonna turn it out now. Yeah, because, I mean, that's just like a lot of work, you know? It's not. Let me get that up. Probably why the stream's been doing so well. What the fuck? This isn't my character. What the fuck? Did they? Well, I mean, I guess it's appropriate, huh? But I don't have a license to use this character, so. Alright, we're back. Every time I try and make a new mini avatar for this program, I just don't like them as much as I like this drawing. I guess it's just a real case of like me getting in my own way. Let's see. I love gradient. Graphic design is my passion. I guess that doesn't look too bad, I think. I don't know. Get these things off the screen. Yeah, we just chillin'. I don't know. Something about this just doesn't feel right. I think that might be good. I think that's as good as it's gonna get for right now. The thing about, like, my process is that, like, I mostly draw stuff from... Well, I draw stuff on my sketchbook, and then I take a picture of it, and then I use it for reference / like guidelines for like the sketch that I want to do on the computer. Mostly because I just don't really like sketching whole cloth straight from like Procreate. Something about it just it breaks up my workflow. I don't think it does that, but, you know. Let's see. I have to look at reference, because, I mean, it's a little... Stuff like this is just generally difficult for me. I don't know what it is. Also, red's a fun color because you can't really get darker or lighter with red. You just have to change tones quite a bit. It's interesting. So, the main thing that you do with red is that you slide it to purple so that you've got more to work with on a color level, I guess. Though we don't really want to, like, totally take the browns out of this, because, I mean, that's kind of what we're going for. I'm basing these, like, this part of his jacket off of old radios. So basically his chest is a speaker. Because really, there's not much that I changed between versions. It's just kind of changing out a few details, I'd say. Let's get rid of that.
Ugh.
Jeff the Killer looking ass. Ugh. I'm getting nowhere fast. Something about, like, his face just isn't working. But, you know, that's why you go through a lot of renditions of a character before finalizing it. I love the ambient vibe of just awful, awful static. Anyway, I think it's pretty fitting. I can't help myself from making it shiny. Ah. I'm probably making it worse by overthinking it, but I just don't know what's going on. Do you guys have any feedback? Something about this just doesn't... Like, I'm trusting the process, because that's all you can really do, right? But, I mean, since you guys have different eyes than I do, and I mean, it's kind of the only thing to stare at the screen. What do you guys think, in your professional art opinions? Because there's just something, like, on the tip of my tongue that's wrong. And I'm just... Like, I feel like I'm going in circles. So, yeah. I'm sorry I'm not commentating too much. It's just that, you know, it's hard to both, like, do two things at once. I mean, that's kind of the whole idea of streaming, is doing, like, talking to chat and also drawing, right? But, I can barely, like... I mean, that's not true, because I like watching videos while I draw, and I like 7 different things going on while I'm doing it, or whatever, but I think that's more of a case of, like, I'm not doing anything all that different, but I'm just in a different state. Hard to say, hard to say. I think that the darker background actually helped. For some reason. Oh my god. Get rid of that. I don't know. Mix the synthetic with the organic. Listen to Cuphead on repeat. Draw. Eat hot chip. Lie. That's all I do every day. of Underline's Lover. That came out like a while ago, though. I don't know why it's in my head so much, but it is. I don't know. I wonder if this song's just saying Cuphead repeatedly. Get those deal gone wrong. Oh, it's the finishing touches. Deal gone wrong's Spamton. Let's see. Anyway. At 50 followers on Twitch, I'm gonna do a hand reveal. Mostly because I think that'll be fun to... Because, I mean, like, we can't really stream Splatoon without my hands being in frame, so that'll be fun, I think. And maybe I'll figure out how to use the platform where I've been streaming for, like, upwards of, like... like a couple of months through the year. Well, not a couple of months, I mean, the time of, like, stuff's kind of confusing, but I think it's mostly due to, like, the sort of limbo I'm in. But yeah, I find it interesting. I like the idea of this game, but it's hard because most of the time the aliens win, whereas like it's a much more challenging version of Among Us, basically, but before Among Us even came out, which is kind of crazy when you think of it, but you know. Hit and roll mafia-like games have always existed, it's just that Among Us just was the most popular. But yeah, that's why Town of Salem is also that's why there's a mafia in there, because that's kind of like the original game that it's riffing on. Let's see. Next stream, I believe, will be not for LeBlanc. I believe it's for Zaya. So that'll be fun. to work in. And Zaya's a character that doesn't actually need that much improving. Kind of like how this is a character, like Alastor is a character. It doesn't really need much in terms of cosmetic changes. It's just kind of fun to do it. Let's see. Miss Monami's lesson and Mr. Monokuma's after class special. Just kind of go fucking hard, okay? I feel so bad because I get so attached to things so quickly and then I drop them. And like the audience that comes for one thing and that kind of thing doesn't come for another thing. But I guess that's just the cycle of followers. But yes, this is a really good Danganronpa song. I like how some people use it for their outro. Because, I mean, it really does go hard. So, like, it's a perfect way of, like, kind of doing that, you know? I don't really actually like Monami all that much as a character. I don't think most people, like, really, like, are big Monami fans, but her song goes hard, so, you know. She can sit next to us. Add? No, good. This is one of my, well, it's not like one of my longer streams, but I think it's mostly to do with the fact that, like, I knew the sketch I wanted going in. Like, the way that he, like, was physically designed, I knew immediately. but for his colors, that's the main thing that trips me up. I think that straight teeth on like a character like this is just more scary. Something about it, like, because you can imagine like a predator but with like sharp teeth. That's a very common thing, but like fucked up like normal teeth, those are just fun. I thought this was a song from Joke Boat, but no, Sam and Max. Let's see. I think this is Inconvenienced. Yes. Hell yeah. I recommend anyone who hasn't to check out Sam and Max Save the World. Because, I mean, Devil's Playhouse is, like, technically a better game and, like, more, like, story-rich, but, I think it's just fun. Like, I just really like Sam and Max. I think it's mostly due to the fact that they kind of just like show up and kind of do whatever the fuck they want, and then they somehow solve the mystery. And I think it's just fun because you're basically in their own little world. Though, I am sad that, like, Poker Night at the Inventory is gone. Or at least, I think it's gone. I can't find it on the Steam page, but I haven't checked in a while. It's not like I'm all that good at poker. I mean, I can hardly count to 2, so, if you're trying to bet on me, don't. Oh my god, for real. Yeah, I think it had to do with, what's it called? Telltale's layoffs, or whatever. 'Cause, yeah, they were treating their employees, like, fucking terribly. Poker Night's how you actually got into Sam and Max. I mean, that is a pretty good, like, jumping off point. I mean, like, I like Poker Night, Tycho, but, like, I'm not gonna read, like, a bunch of pages of Penny Arcade. Though there was a Penny Arcade video game, which is strange. That whole thing's strange to me. Especially since Penny Arcade, is the inspiration for PAX. It's the largest, like, gaming convention. Like, that's what it stands for. So, that's a fun fact. But, yeah. I'm not sure if they put it back up, because, I mean, I would like to get the Iron Curtain. Alright? Because there's nothing more satisfying than TF2 weapons. Even though, like, really, any game that I mention, just assume that I'm bad at it, because I am. I'm not really a gamer so much as I am a game appreciator. And I feel like a lot of people fall into that category of people that really like games and enjoy how, like, they are as a medium and that kind of thing, but just kind of absolutely suck at them. Or maybe it's just a made-up category for me. Either way, fun. Because it's not really about skill as it is about how you enjoy something. Let's see. This is looking much better than before. Video games are really fun, but sometimes you just... yeah. And... yeah. Like, I enjoy Minecraft, not because I'm good at the game or anything like that, but just because I like seeing the cool stuff that's in the generated world or whatever. Like, if you guys saw me playing Minecraft, I think that you would have an aneurysm. Because you'd be like, oh my god, how is the movement so bad on this? But, you know, I just want to make it clear. Because, like, everyone has different ways of enjoying something. And it kind of just goes back to that thing of how you enjoy something and how another person enjoys something can be completely different. And, you know, it's not any less valid unless they're doing something to actively harm another person. Then, like, the way that fiction affects reality is, like, a big talking point or whatever, right? And it can. It does, to a certain extent, but it's more like fiction mirrors our reality, to a degree. Like how there was a bunch of spin-offs in the 90s of, like, characters, but in extreme sport or whatever. And those things are now seen as nostalgic and that kind of thing. Because, I mean, the 80s were, like, the time where things turned into toy commercials. And the 90s is where they were, like, people think cartoons are cool, so let's do something with that. And they kind of went off of the BMX extreme sports craze of the time. I wasn't immune to it either, despite being a 2000s kid, because, like, the VHSs that I checked out were just... a lot of it was, like, the extremely goofy movie and that kind of thing. Kind of crazy, like, looking back on it, because, I mean, people's perceptions kind of color how they see stuff or whatever. Like, people miss Blockbuster, and it's not because Blockbuster was an actually good service or whatever, it's because you miss the feeling of being that young again, that kind of thing, and missing charming but dated technology, like pagers. Like, when I see them in, like, works of media, I'm like, oh yeah, those existed for, like, a hot minute, and people thought they were, like, the thing of the future. But it turns out it wasn't. It's kind of how, like, little kid me saw the Google Glass. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. I mean, little kid me never had a Google Glass. I don't think most people did. But, like, that form of technology was still... it was still cool nonetheless. I need someone to help me with my OBS. I fucking suck at it. It's funny how parents assume that you're good at technology because you're younger, but I know incredibly little. Alright. It's just not where I'm min-maxed, okay? I put all my my skills into cooking and drawing, and those are... and, you know, I mean, it gives me good benefit, don't get me wrong, but, you know, it's still fun. Like, I still would like to know certain things. But my brain just wasn't... it's not primed for things like that, I don't think. It's... I think everyone's brain works a little bit different. But it's kind of crazy that, like, I was only diagnosed with a certain something, like, right after high school. It's kind of crazy, you know? Because everyone is just like, oh yeah, that's normal. That's a normal kid. I had no idea, like, why I would just suddenly break down. Because it wasn't like I was sad or anything like that. It was just that, like, sometimes I would just... start, like, hyperventilating and stuff like that. And, you know, looking back on certain things makes me realize that, oh shit, it was there from the very start. It's just that it's only now that I can actually deal with my problems in a reasonable way. So, you know. Alright. Let's see. Alright. I think this is where we're gonna call it, actually. Because, I mean, I actually like how this looks now. I just had to trust the process really, really hard, and then, you know, and then it works out. Yeah, dude, he looks pretty sweet. Thanks for the stream. He grinned. What if I didn't just do that? Okay. Thank you guys for coming and watching my stream. I really appreciate it. I hope that everyone has a good night. And all that stuff, you know? Because, you know, it's fun that, you know, you could make it, and that, you know, you got to spend some time with me. I mean, I don't know if it was... I don't know what you get out of the streams, honestly, but I'm just glad that I'm here. And that you're... well, that you're here with me, I guess. That's it. Anyway, I hope that everyone has a good rest of their night, evening, or day, depending on where you live, and, you know, I really need to stop saying that. Anyway, have a good night, and I'll see you again soon. Next Friday.